Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والعاقبة للمتقين، ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، وبعد. Dear brothers and sisters worldwide, welcome to another edition of your program, Ask Huda. The phone numbers are as usual: area code 002-0238-555-248 or 249, and the email address is ask@huda.tv. Barakallahu feekum. We just have a couple of pending questions, and we'll be more than happy to take your valuable questions and concerns, inshallah, as soon as you start calling in. Brother Isa from Nigeria last time said, at what point should we begin to make taslim? After the Imam completes his taslim, or at the same time as the Imam? In the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ فَإِذَا كَبَّرَ الْإِمَامُ فَكَبِّرُوا. Al-Imam is appointed in the Sharia to be followed, and al-Ma'mumin are the followers. And it is not permissible for the followers to go ahead or precede the Imam. So once the Imam makes takbir, now you can succeed him, you can follow him. Once the Imam makes ruku', now you make ruku', rises from ruku', and so on. And the Prophet ﷺ threatened those who raise their heads before the Imam, either from ruku' or sujood. And the proper way, and what's recommended, is to wait until the Imam finishes both taslim, to the right, then to the left. Then the follower should start his or her taslim afterward. Some of the Imams said that if the follower followed the Imam after the first taslim, because this is the fard taslim, the first one. So if the Imam makes Assalamu alaikum to the right, then the follower says Assalamu alaikum, and he waits. So the Imam turns to the left side and he says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The Imam follows him and makes taslim. They said لا بأس بذلك. There is no harm, but it is not recommended. It is not recommended. The recommended way is to wait until the Imam finishes the prayer entirely, then you follow the Imam in making taslim. And of course, there is no rush, because after the prayer you're going to sit and make khitam as-salah, the supplications, invocations after the prayer. So why is the rush? Why are you so keen to finish the salah before the Imam? You're not going to go anywhere before the Imam finishes the prayer anyway. Jazakumullahu khairan. Sister Abdul Rahman from Nigeria last time inquired about forensic medicine. I was about to say evidence, because this is what's normally used for. This is a branch of medicine which is the study and the application of the medical knowledge in the legal field. In the legal field, there are some cases which are called medico-legal. These cases pertaining death, rape, paternity, and so on, requires medical evidence to verify the proof. For instance, some people get killed or died. Through the forensic medicine, the physicians get to do autopsy to figure out whether this person had been poisoned, suffocated, or killed by whatever means. So it is permissible to learn this science or this branch of medicine. It is definitely needed. And it's not only limited to autopsy, it's also extended to paternity, the DNA test to prove the nasab, the family lineage, and things of this nature. So it is permissible. But the question could be much more specifically directed to the autopsy. When is it permissible? Because is it just simply because somebody believes or thinks, or have suspicion that this person may have been killed or whatever? So I require forensic evidence or autopsy, even if the person does not seem to be killed or went through a murder. No, in this case, we have to keep in mind that the Prophet ﷺ has said, the sacredness of a believer while he is dead is the same as if he is still alive. وَكَسْرُ عَظْمِهِ مَيِّتًا كَكَسْرِ عَظْمِهِ حَيًّا. Even breaking the bones of a dead Muslim is the same as breaking the bone of the person when he is still alive. So it would be permissible in very narrow conditions where it is definitely needed to verify whether this person has been killed or not, or the cause of death, when there is a great doubt there has been a murder or suspicion of a murder behind this case. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our first caller, Sister Aisha from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Aisha.
Pleasure. Sheikh, you know when you're making salat and afterwards you notice that your hair might not have been covered properly or a bit of skin was exposed, do I have to pray again?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. If you can slow down, raise your voice.
You know, after I've finished praying and I noticed that some of my hair may not have been covered properly, you know, it might have fallen out, or a bit of skin, you know, maybe from my ankle was showing. Do I have to pray again?
No, you won't have to pray again. That if the person does that deliberately, or he was aware that a part of his aura was uncovered. But if the person was in the prayer and he figured out a part of her hair or the ankle or whatever was uncovered, so you cover it up, that's fine. Also the Prophet ﷺ in the prayer was wearing his boots. Then all of a sudden he took them off and kicked them away. So the companions followed him. After the prayer, the Prophet ﷺ notes that the companions have taken their shoes and boots off. He said, why did you do that? They said, we've seen you doing that, so we thought has been abrogated that we should not be praying in our shoes or boots. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, it's rather Jibreel ﷺ came to me and informed me that my boots had some impurities and najasa, so I had to take them off, and he resumed the prayer. He did not interrupt his prayer. Thank you, Aisha from the KSA. Jazakillahu khairan. And of course, since as-salah is the most important ibadah, an act of worship in Islam, the person has to be prepared for it. Has to be prepared physically and spiritually. So before praying, you choose a nice spot, away from any distraction. You make sure you have the proper tahara, dressed up in the proper outfit, that it does not show the aura in the prayer, which may invalidate the prayer. Unfortunately, while on the other hand we see some sisters are very keen to cover even a few hair going from here and there, we see a lot of youth in the masajid today, those who like to wear those jeans, tight jeans and low-cut jeans, and when they make ruku' and when they make sujood, their aura will be showing. So this person and these persons, we would like to once again remind them, please make sure that you wear proper clothes upon going to pray. You should be wearing proper and dressed up proper in any case and all the time, but more specifically during the salah. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Ahmed from Nigeria, assalamu alaikum. Okay, we lost the call. Please try again, Ahmed. The second question from the third question from the previous episode, Sister Munira from United Arab Emirates. She said, can I give my zakat to my poor brother? Yes, if he is poor and eligible, then of course you can give him your zakah, especially when you have kids, so he's not officially one of your heirs. You don't have to support him financially. His financial expenses are not due upon you, so in this case you can give him out of your zakah, and inshallah hopefully you get double reward, the reward of giving in a charity and the reward of upholding the ties of kinship and giving those who are closer and nearer to you. Do you have to inform him beforehand that this is zakah? Please, you don't have to do that. A lot of people are being misinformed in this regard. They think that when I give the zakah, I have to tell the recipient that this is zakah, or this is a kafara, or whatever. No. Especially some people who are very respected people, but they are going through financial adversity. It hurts their feeling to tell them that this is zakah. It's like they claim that you are a poor person and you deserve to take a zakah, which is the leftover from my wealth. We have Sister Sumaya from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Ask Huda.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you, Sister Sumaya.
Yeah, Sheikh, actually I have one personal question. So is there any way I can ask you?
Yes, go ahead, please.
No, online right now? You prefer me to?
What kind of question do you have?
Regarding marriage.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, Sheikh, I had a commitment with one guy, and now his father is, he's saying he wanted him his son to marry with his cousin.
I see.
And only because of this problem, he's just refusing me, and I don't know what to do. Whether some people are saying me go ahead and get married with him, or just leave him. I don't know what to do.
So that person has already made up his mind. He said he's refused you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then drop it. Case is closed.
His father refused me. Not him.
I know. You're not supposed to chase the guy after he said, I'm not interested, or I'm going to follow my father's instructions.
No, Sheikh, he's not saying such. His father is saying. He is asking me.
I perfectly understand. He said he refused you because of his father. So he made up his mind. If he did not make up his mind and he was asking, or you are asking on his behalf, then the answer would be as follows. That of course obeying the parents is a must, and it is right after the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But do I have to marry the girl whom my parents chose for me? No. Same thing to you. So basically, if the groom or if the bride are righteous people, alhamdulillah, shukla, and this is my choice, I need to work on convincing my parents so that they would bless this marriage. But the agreement of his father to marrying a righteous Muslimah is not a condition, but it is required in order to be blessed, in order to please his father. But this is not the end of life. But if the person already has made up his mind and said, I refuse you, or he changed his mind, then there is really not much that you can do. If he is very much interested in you, then we can discuss the case. Any other question, Sumaya? Okay, Barakallahu Fik. Brother Azmi from United Arab Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have two questions, but mistakenly I told them I have only one. Is it okay to ask two questions?
You have?
Two questions.
Two questions. Okay, bring on the first one, please.
Okay. First thing, Sheikh, that taking bath, is it considered as ablution before the prayer? And my second question is, I frequent traveler between two cities, which is the distance about 136 kilometers.
Okay, what was the second question
again? Am I allowed to do the prayers joint?
Can you start the second question over, please?
Sorry, Sheikh?
Repeat the second question from the beginning, please.
I frequently drive between two cities, which is 136 kilometers distance.
Mm-hmm.
So do I allow to pray joint prayers?
Yes,
although there is enough mosque between these two cities.
Okay.
So can I pray jointly?
Okay.
That's all, Sheikh.
Okay. Thank you. Brother Ridwan from United Arab Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Brother Ridwan?
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh. How are you? Thank you for asking.
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Alhamdulillah. Finally, I got through you after a lot of times repetitive calls. How's things with you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, wonderful. Jazakallah.
Very good. Alhamdulillah, glad to hear that. Sheikh, today you'll have to bear with me, please. I have 2 questions, and one is pretty long, and none of them are related. Inshallah, will you be able to help me?
If you can compress the questions, that would be great for the sake of time, please.
Inshallah, okay. Sheikh, my first question is with regards to the Quran. What we have now is like in what? Who set the order? In the right order which we read the Quran now? Because I know that the Quran was not revealed at once. Rather, it was by verse and surah at times. So who put all surahs in this order that we read? I hope you got my
I got your question.
Sheikh.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, Sheikh. And my second question is, Sheikh, it is quite personal. Inshallah, I'm trying to get married soon, within this year, inshallah. My one question is, Sheikh, there is this sister that in Islam who I would love to get married to. But there's a small problem that her father, who is a very righteous person, mashallah, he has one condition, that he would not give his daughter's hand to anyone who does not share his nationality. And obviously, I don't share his nationality. So what do you advise, Sheikh, in this case? And inshallah, I'm just being just. I'm not twisting my question so that I'm making you to answer in my favor. Inshallah, I'll accept what Islam has for me.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. And trust me, we will not work hard to give an answer to suit your desire. Rather, we'll give the answer which we believe it presents the deen. Wallahu a'lam. Brother Muhammad from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Good evening. And,
Good evening
Allah
to you.
Allah bless you and the whole Huda team.
Ameen.
Yes, sir. I have one question, and it has been disturbing me for some time now. Now you have a situation of following all this online, Facebook, Twitter, communication. And in this process, you meet some people that are posting negative things about Islam, especially the non-Muslims. And then sometimes you try to tell them that this is the real Islam. That is not the real Islam. You try to give them, the real Islam, but they are not even ready to understand. Sometimes they even retort with bad, messages to you, try to tell you bad things about Islam and all this. And it really affects me. I try to put them in the good information aspect, but they don't even want to listen. In such a situation, do you insist in giving them the right information, or you just leave them and you just don't care? I mean, I don't know. Do we have that responsibility to insist on giving them the right information, even if it affects you?
Can I summarize your question? You're asking about giving da'wah online. Am I right?
Exactly, yes. Exactly. Okay. Something like that. And even if it is paining you, you will just continue doing that.
Okay. Thank you, Muhammad from Nigeria. Barakallah fikum. Abu Ahmed from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, ya Sheikh.
How are you, Abu Ahmed?
Fine, Mr. Sheikh. My question is, I have some children. Is it necessary that your child has to reach 7 years old before you ask him or her to pray? What happened is my youngest daughter, who she's not up to 7 years, but very intelligent. She memorized more chapters of the Quran than her elder sisters. But I don't tell her to pray because I just want to wait till she reaches 7 years. But she recites even better than those elder sisters.
I guess your question, Abu Ahmed. Thank you. Sister Hafsa from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I have 3 questions.
Please.
If a person begins his Fard Salah not knowing that the Jama'ah was over, and on hearing the Imam start the Jama'ah, he breaks the Salah by saying Salam, will this be right? If not, what shall be done now? And my second question, is it permissible to donate organs during life and after death? And can we donate blood?
Any other questions?
No, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Hafsa from United Arab Emirates. Thank you, Jazakumullah khairan. Okay, Brother Aziz from United Arab Emirates about taking a shower and making wudu simultaneously. Is it permissible, or would the shower be enough and sufficient so that the person doesn't have to make wudu? Let me explain. If you're taking a shower for the purpose of cleanness or for the purpose of cooling off and refreshment, then you are required to make a wudu with the intention of making wudu. You can do that while you are under the shower, on the bathtub. Make sure you wash the body parts of wudu in order. You make the niyyah and tasmiyah in the beginning, and so on. After you wash the body parts of ablution, make sure that your hands won't touch your private. That's it. So by that, you've made wudu already. But if you think that by taking a shower or diving in the water, scuba diving, or if you swim, that automatically will give you wudu, no, that won't be true. But if the person was performing ghusl, what is the difference between ghusl for refreshment or to cool off in summer or for cleaning, and the ghusl, the shower and the ghusl? The ghusl is similar to taking a shower, but preceded by an intention that I'm taking the shower, I'm washing the entire body part, the entire body, in order to lift and remove the major impurity. So if that was the case, then automatically the wudu is included, inclusively. But if you're taking a shower for any other reason, you're changing your clothes, you're going for whatever reason, if it is not a mandatory ghusl, then you are required to make an independent wudu, even while you are under the shower or in the bathtub. Okay. He's traveling back and forth every day, 136 kilometers, going to his job and returning back. Is he allowed to combine the two prayers of Dhuhr and Asr together and the Maghrib and Isha together? Yes, you are very much allowed to combine the prayers. And this is the opinion of the vast majority of the scholars, as long as you are on the move and traveling back and forth. Once you need it, then it is permissible. So al-jama' accordingly, and al-qasr will be permissible. That's a concession, and it is recommended to follow and take this concession and act upon it. That's pertaining al-qasr. Shortening the prayer is a concession. Combining the prayer is a concession too. So it is better to choose al-qasr, shortening the prayer, if you're traveling. But in the case of jama', combining the prayer, if you are in need for it, then it is better for you to take it. Duan from United Arab Emirates. His questions, the first and the second, pertaining the sciences of the Quran, the order of the chapters and the verses of the Quran. We knew that the Prophet ﷺ used to receive Jibreel ﷺ, angel Gabriel. Every Ramadan, he would come and revise the Quran with him, until it was the last Ramadan in the life of the Prophet ﷺ, the 13th year. On the 10th year after the migration, there came Jibreel alayhi salam, and he revised the Quran with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi salam twice. عارضه القرآن مرتين. And in this journey, Jibreel alayhi salam informed the Prophet sallallahu alayhi salam about the current order, to put this ayah before and after this ayah and in this surah. So that is called tawqifi. Tawqifi, which means no man has any role to play in it. It is divine. That is a divine command. The order of the ayat particularly has to be followed. The order of the surah was also tawqifi. That's the opinion of the vast majority of the scientists of the Quran. What about that the Prophet ﷺ, according to Hadith Hudayfa, once recited Al-Baqarah, then An-Nisa, then this and that, different than the order that we have in the Quran, as I said. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud has his Quran was in a different order, and the Sahabi in a different order, because they were writing the Quran in the order of the revelation. The order according to which the Prophet ﷺ put the Quran and the ayat by the end of his life was different than the order of the revelation. That's why sometimes when we open the Quran, if you follow the program of correct recitation, you will find Surah such and such. This is a Makki Surah. Has been revealed before Surah and such, which is mentioned, or its order in the Quran way before it. And you will find sometimes Madani Surahs contain some Makki ayat, and vice versa. So by the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam the order of the ayat, the verses, and the surah. I'm reluctant to call the ayat verses and the ayah a verse because it is not poetry, but each ayah of the Quran is a miracle by itself. That's why I tend to remind myself and you brothers and sisters, this is an ayah, not a verse. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Muniba from United Arab Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have two questions.
Please.
The first one is, I have two housemates, one Muslim and one Christian. The Muslim one cheats and steals, but the Christian one is very honest and truthful. So should I treat them by their behaviors, or I should treat them normally? That's the first one.
Okay.
Then the second one is, I went for Hajj in year 2008. I performed all the obligatory acts, but I forgot to cut my hair after all the acts. So my question here is my Hajj accepted? And
okay.
If it is not, what will I do to correct the mistake?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister. Jazakumullahu khairan. Sister Noura from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Welcome to Ask Huda.
Thank you. I have two questions.
I'm listening.
One is that I got substantial amount of gold and silver when I got married 4 years back, but my zakat was not paid for past 3 years. I want to pay it now, but what is the rate on which I have to pay?
Okay. How much is your gold? How many grams?
Around 130 gram of gold,
okay,
and 300 gram of silver or something.
MashaAllah. May Allah bless you.
And my second question is, a very close relative of mine got married. She married a Christian. I don't know what religion she practices or what is her this thing, but what I want to know is that what is her, how the father needs to share the property. There are 3 sisters. So what is her share in the property then?
Tayyib.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Sister Noura. And we have Sabira from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have a question regarding the babies' dresses. Most of the dresses available for babies today have the pictures of cartoons on them. So is it permissible to wear them
I didn't get the question, Sister Sabra. Can you raise your voice a little bit, please?
Most of the dresses available for babies or children today contain cartoon characters or pictures.
Yeah.
So is it permissible to wear them?
Okay.
Or how can we stop our children from wearing those?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Sister Sabira. Let's take a short break, and inshallah, when we get back, we'll continue taking and answering your valuable calls and concerns. Stay tuned.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose whom He wills subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His messengership, for the revelation to be revealed. This is not for the human beings to make that decision. If a person would turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely, truthfully, asking for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to forgive. We have as Muslims a duty, and that is to recite the book of Allah, to ponder over the verses, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to act according to the Quran. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses everything, but who would this mercy will be for? And the Prophet ﷺ was sent to all mankind. So the ummah or the people of the Prophet ﷺ are all mankind since the time of the Prophet ﷺ till the day of judgment. Why waste our life without getting to know every verse in the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us?
The Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, narrated that when Allah, glory be to Him, wishes good for someone, He bestows upon him understanding of the religion, and that Allah makes the path to paradise easy for those who seek knowledge. Preoccupied by work or family in the modern world, a Muslim may struggle to find time for acquiring Islamic knowledge. To ease this struggle, we are launching Huda Academy to be your gateway to online Islamic e-learning.
Enroll now and study from our renowned scholars. Learn Aqidah from Dr. Muhammad Salah.
Learn Fiqh from Dr. Hatim Al-Hajj.
Learn Hadith from Dr. Muhammad Saeed.
Learn Tafsir from Sheikh Ibrahim Zidan.
And learn Arabic from our professional instructors.
Successful graduates of Huda Academy will go through a final test and eventually receive a certificate of completion.
To enroll and learn more about Huda Academy, please visit us online at hudaonlineacademy.com.
Huda Academy, your gateway to authentic Islamic knowledge.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Ask Huda. I hope you enjoyed your break. Ridwan's second question, he's a young man and he's about to get married. The girl whom he likes, her father only has one problem, that he requires that the person who marries his daughter maintains the same nationality. You see, on the contrary to the case that we discussed with Sumayya, when we said that the person who proposed to her, he wanted to marry her, and we said if he wants to marry her, he can still marry her, because the approval of his father or parents is not conditional. Unless if he wants to obey them, Allah will bless him for that. But if he goes ahead and he marries without the consent of his father, marriage is valid. If we're talking about the legal part of it. But the girl cannot marry herself without the consent of her guardian. So now we limited the problem in convincing the father that the Prophet ﷺ did not mind marrying one of the honorable companion women to somebody who was one day a slave and he was freed. And vice versa. The Prophet ﷺ married his cousin Zainab bint Jahsh, whom later on she became the mother of the believers, to Zayd ibn Haritha. So the honor in Islam is for righteousness and piety. But according to Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, الكفاءة معتبرة في النكاح. And al-kafa'a, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, is equivalence, that the person must meet certain criterion. So he considers the race, he considers the language, he considers the Islam of the parents, he considers the status or the position in the community. So the father has the right to refuse marrying his daughter to somebody who has a lower status, or from a different nationality, or because his parents are not Muslims, even though he's a Muslim, as according to Imam Abu Hanifa. Excuse me. So what I would recommend is try to remind him with the fact that the Prophet ﷺ married this person to this person, and he said, إذا جاءكم من ترضون دينه وأمانته فزوجوه إلا تفعلوا تكن فتنة في الأرض وفساد عريض. Which means, you guys, he's addressing the parents and the guardians of the girls who are at marriageable age. Whenever a man whom you trust his deen and honesty, you believe that he's a righteous person, proposes to you to marry your daughter or the girl who's under your guardianship, then you should facilitate such marriage. If you do not do so, that will lead to the widespread of mischief and corruption on earth. إِلَّا تَفْعَلُوا تَكُنْ فِتْنَةٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادٌ عَرِيضٌ. We have seen tons of cases where by the end the girl marries against her father's wish or will. And she will find somebody who will say, well, according to Hanafi madhab, you don't need his consent. And that would lead to severing the relationship. Many marriages ended up with divorce by the end. I always claim that when a person marries another person, when a man marries a woman, it is not only two individuals who are getting married. It's two families rather. Two families are being united. So you have to be on the same page. Make dua in your salah. Ask Allah to choose for you what's best. Because we never know. Sometimes I love things and Allah knows that it is not befitting for me. Or it is better to take something else. That is the benefit of the istikhara prayer. Meanwhile, when you make dua and you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to soften his heart, and his daughter also will talk to him and remind him with the ahadith and the ayat, and the sister who called earlier from Saudi, and the person who wants to marry her, he has a greater job. His job is much greater than the girl in this case. He's got to talk to his parents and says, it's not because she's my cousin, I have to marry her. This is a person whom I find my heart with, whom I love, whom I wish to spend the rest of my life. And I wish the Muslim Ummah and the parents understand that your children are not you. My children are not necessarily the same like me. They do not think with the same mentality. And sometimes the parents really overdo it. They insist that if you don't marry this girl, then you're not my son. I won't be talking to you anymore. I understand that they can object to my choice and say, I don't like her for a reason or another, if it is legitimate. But to force me to marry a particular person, that's not fair. Rather, they should make it easy and facilitate marriage for their children, because by the end, it is them who are going to live with their life partners forever. Unlike to have children from this woman. And this woman, I would like this person to be the father of my children. And we are compatible and there is chemistry between us. Obviously, many parents do not believe in chemistry anyway. So I would just like to remind them, please, it is your children who are getting married, not you. Only if you have a legitimate objection, like the girl is not wearing hijab, her father drinks, or she's a descendant of a family that's known to be involved in this haram business, they're running a liquor store, or. These are all legitimate excuses. But a good girl, descendant of a good family, she's reading Quran, memorizing Quran, wearing hijab, and he likes her. Say, Barakallahu lakuma, wa baraka alaykuma, wa jama'a baynakuma fi khayr. Do not make their life miserable just to fulfill your desire and win the battle for the purpose or the interest of your ego. Wallahu a'lam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Muna from Egypt, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
Yes.
I have two questions.
Please.
Okay, the first question is, can I pray sunnah after the iqamah comes in?
Can?
The first question.
What was the first question?
Can I still pray sunnah after the iqamah comes in?
Okay, I missed that. Can you pray sunnah after the iqamah?
Yeah. Can I pray sunnah?
Can you pray sunnah after the iqamah? Are you praying at home or are you praying in the masjid?
At home.
At home, of course, you can pray sunnah after the iqamah because you're not abiding by the jama'ah. Only if you are in the masjid, you have to stick to the jama'ah. If the iqamah is cool, you have to interrupt your sunnah and join the jama'ah. But at home, you're not required to join anybody.
Okay. And my second question is, if I still have to make up some days from the past Ramadan, can I fast Ashura?
Okay. You missed days in the past Ramadan.
Yes, and I have to make them up.
Yeah.
Can I fast Ashura like Sunnah?
Can you fast
Ashura?
Ashura?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, fasting on these days in order to make up the missed fasting, you have to be predetermined. With what intention? Is it to make up the missed fasting? So this is for making up the missed fasting, and hopefully you will get a reward for fasting on that occasion. But to get the same reward for both, that's overlapping. That's making one ibadah with two different intentions. So you will get the reward of fasting on that particular occasion, but you will drop or you will fulfill one of the missed days of fasting on that day, based on your intention. But if you say, I'm fasting on Ashura, and meanwhile you deduct it from the days that you missed, it doesn't count. Because fasting the fard, the wajib, and the kafarat, and the nadhr, the vow, and in order to make up the missed fasting, has to be preceded by an intention before Fajr. Any other questions? Jazakumullah khairan, Sister Moon. Sister Asia from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Asia.
Dua to you from my family and the whole Huda team.
Thank you so much. Jazakumullahu khairan. Same to you.
I have 3 questions. Question number 1. Is it right to say Holy Quran when Christians are saying Holy Bible? Question number 2. What is the ruling if someone leaves the Islam and accepts other religion? Question number 3. One of the prominent Dai, whose TV channel is very famous, and he comes on Huda TV also. Few people here are trying to blame him by cutting his quotes without hearing the context and saying that he's saying wrong hadith and explanation. What to do in certain condition and how to advise them? Jazakallah khair.
Okay, thank you, Sister Asia. Barakallah fiki. Last phone call. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Sulaiman from Nigeria.
وعليكم السلام يا شيخ.
يا سليمان كيف الحال؟
بخير الحمد لله يا شيخ.
Go ahead and ask your questions, please.
My question is this, Ya Sheikh. My question is about the heart and the soul. I want to know the difference between the heart and the soul, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam talks about the heart, but there's a mix in somebody's in somebody's body. If that mix is okay, the whole thing is okay. The hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then the second thing is about the soul. The soul, like I understand, the scholar talks about that the human being is made of 2 things: the soul, then the heart. The soul, then the body. That the most important thing that you have to feel the soul very well in order to be success on the day of Qiyamah. So I want to know the difference between the heart and the soul based on this hadith.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. Sulaiman got your question. Thank you so much. Brother Muhammad from Nigeria is talking about the social media and the blasphemy in constant stereotyping and bashing that they present against Islam, Muslims, and the Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and our role. This is called jihad too. Sitting in order to refute misconceptions and give da'wah. This is some sort of jihad in order to spread the deen, clarify issues, lift the fog, refute misconceptions, and so on. But the person has to be qualified by attending da'wah courses, by studying these misconceptions and how to refute them, by keeping in mind that the means do not necessarily justify the tools, which means you cannot lie in order to prove something or prove its opposite. You have to speak the truth. Remember what Ja'far ibn Abu Talib said may Allah be pleased with him, when he was presented before An-Najashi, the Abyssinian king, Amr ibn al-As and another guy came from Mecca in order to convince the Najash so that he sends the immigrants, who were 80 plus men and women, back to Mecca. So he said, فَأَجْمَعْنَا صِدْقَهُ. We decided to tell him only the truth, no matter what happens. What was the outcome? An-Najashi have accepted Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased upon him, with him. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ offered the funeral prayer for him. And he offered Muslims free stay in Al-Habasha, in Abyssinia, in his country back then. So we need to equip ourselves with the proper informations and the proper knowledge. That should not distract our attention from seeking knowledge, attending classes and so on. Because I've seen some people involved in debates and giving da'wah, they don't know how to read Surah Al-Fatiha. They don't know a single surah of the Quran. That's not proper. One who does not possess can never give. You have first to fill up yourself with informations and acquire the proper knowledge in order to be able to pass it on to others. فَاقِدُ الشَّيْءِ لَا يُعْطِيهِ لِغَيْرِ. Abu Ahmed from Nigeria, at what age should we start ordering or requiring our children to pray? Especially, he says, MashaAllah, he has a younger daughter who's 7, she's very intelligent, she prays on her own and so on. The hadith says, عَلِّمُوا أَوْلَادَكُمُ الصَّلَاةَ لِسَبْعٍ ضَرِبُوهُمْ عَلَيْهَا لِعَشْرٍ. At the age of 7, we should instruct our children how to pray. It doesn't mean that we should be negligent of the prayer until they are 7. No, I repeatedly say and said that as early as at the age of 2, the children would see us spreading the janamaz or the prayer rug, they would come and pray next to us. So slowly and gradually we instruct them, if you're praying, do not talk, and before you pray you have to do this, and teach them how to make wudu, and obviously how to wash after answering the call of nature, gradually and over time, so that at the age of 7 you can accompany them with you to the masjid. They stand up in the line without disturbing the peace and tranquility in the masjid. But all of that is for the purpose of teaching and instructing, because the salah would be only due once the child will be aware of that, and more specifically when the person reaches the age of puberty. Brothers and sisters, by that we come to the end of today's edition of Ask Huda, and until next episode I leave you in the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance and in your deeds